get the lighting. Let's get the lighting good. It's about as good as we're gonna get here. Hey guys, so I am in a pretty neutered background. As you can see, I'm actually in a hotel in Denver. Very hard for me to get away from the land and what I'm doing up at Flock Finger Lakes because there's just so much to do there. But I got called out to do a talk at a garden conference, and I'm here pretty much a day early because there's been so many flight delays. I just wanted to make sure that I was here on time, which means I have some time on my hands, and I don't necessarily want to be spending it here in this cold, neutered hotel room. So I'm going to check out some of Denver's plant shops. And this is a little bit of an impromptu plant shop excursion. I just happened to go on Google Maps because I didn't do any research beforehand, and I usually do. But I think I'm probably gonna go to some of these places unannounced and see if I could just drop in and film. But my golly, I mean, I just did a quick Google search and there are tons of plant shops in Denver. So I had to make some picks. I'm here on a Tuesday, and it seems like a lot of the garden shops are closed on a Tuesday. Kind of weird. It's like when barber shops are closed on Monday, that type of thing. So I'll hit up like some of them. I don't have all day, and I haven't eaten all day either. So I'd rather like probably get an early dinner and then do some work. But yeah, I'm gonna take you with me, and you're gonna see some Denver plant shops. All right, let's go. Planted.
My name is Luke Huss, and yep, I'm the owner of Planted here in Denver.
And when did you start Planted?
2013.
2013.
So I'm about to turn 9 here.
Wow.
Been open for 9 years, yeah.
Wow, happy anniversary.
Thank you.
That's quite a long time. So what was the impetus with starting Planted?
Well, I was working in a bunch of other plant-related jobs. I was plantscaping, I was working in another greenhouse, and then also a bunch of greenhouses before that. So, you know, I've been involved with plants. My mom's a horticulturist, so underneath too is my wood shop, and my dad's a carpenter, so it's almost like a blend of what they do in a different way. I do all sorts of things out of wood that was once something and repurpose wood into all sorts of cool goods for my shop that are for sale, and a lot of commission work too. A lot of people want something a certain size, something that they're after. It doesn't even have to be plant related, but mostly I do plant related goods. So.
And it works really well together because, you know, obviously plants, people are buying it for home decor. And
absolutely.
Yeah. How did you see things change during the pandemic when people were staying in?
So that actually was really busy. So, you know, I still had to come here because I was like, well, I have all these plants that I have to water, so I'm still here. And my wood shop's here, so I was like, I'm finally able to, you know, not get interrupted and do my woodwork. Still had to come and revive the plants. So people were calling me every day and they're like, hey, can I still get plants? Can I still get plants? And I'm like, well, I'm here. Yeah, let's do a curbside pickup kind of thing. And so then eventually we moved just to 2 people. It's small in here, so just two at a time. But it was actually really busy. I mean, I had like a line out the door for like that whole year. It was pretty crazy. 2020 was pretty wild. And it was the same story as far as people were home and they're getting into something new. People are like, hey, I want a Zoom plant. I'm in Zoom meetings and I want Zoom plants behind me. Or, hey, I have a YouTube channel and I want a plant behind me. They know me from my little stage and I have this cool neon pothos behind me or whatever, you know? It was awesome getting a lot of new people into plants. So
can you show me some of the wooden stuff that you've created?
Yeah, absolutely. I do these over the years. This is a cooler, newer design. And this is a plant stand. I mean, you can almost sit on it.
Very chic.
It's very chic, yes. Yeah. It's a cool little design with the single leg, the single pipe leg. Mm-hmm. This is something, it's not my signature, but I put this into a lot of things. This is from recycled skateboards. And skateboards all have different layers of color.
That's so cool.
So I take all this wood that was once something. This was cherry stairs that was in a house.
I love cherry.
Isn't cherry nice?
It's such a
and this
beautiful wood.
It's gummy cherry, so it has this gummy sap in it, and it's a little different. So this is walnut. So yeah, stuff like that. I do a lot of these. These are really popular for me. Another kind of a chic design. I like doing it all though, as far as like things that are really rustic and preserving character.
Yeah.
But something like this, people love these, so you can flip it. But then this is cool too, because you can also put different sized pots on something like this.
And it's a little bit more rustic.
Totally more rustic, and
Yeah.
you got the cool character like that. I literally use branches for the dowels for this piece, which is kind of cool.
That's cool. It even has some ollie hair. Look at that.
Exactly. It even has his little hair. Whoever gets to take that home has to take a little ollie with them. So yes, all this cool wood. This was walnut flooring. So all this wood that little did it know was going to live a new life and become, complementary of a plant. These are cool too. I do these little hanging guys. And these are just way easier to work with than a macrame. Look how easy that was to...
So nice.
Yep. And the flex. So if you got a big plant that's just super full, very easy to get in and out instead of, fiddling with the macrame.
There's something very zen about it too.
Isn't that nice? And people see this design.
Yep,
exactly. And it shows off your plant a little bit more. So...
well, and somebody doesn't want the 70s vibe, with the macrame.
Totally. And then I'll do stuff like these. These are cool. Some wall art.
Kind of feels like a kaleidoscope.
Right.
Yeah, nice.
But in the end, I try to focus on more plant-related goods, whether it's planters, plant stands, shelving for the plants, plant holders. I just keep coming up with ideas for the plants. But the whole thing is using the wood that was once something. That's what I'm passionate about too. Like, it could be cedar fencing. This is a beam in a house that, chopped up into a little section. This was oak flooring. That was walnut flooring. There's more skateboards. This was a pallet. This was some barn wood, which was some of that stuff too. That really cool, thick, rustic stuff that I can't replicate. You know what I mean? That just has that cool character. Here's more of that cherry stairs is what this was. So all these, pieces of wood, little did it know that it was going to come together and be, something usable.
Do you remember the first thing that you've ever made?
That's a good question. Probably something more actually I was doing a lot of these little air plant frames. I remember doing a lot of those 9 years ago. It was more simple stuff.
Yeah.
Because I got better over the time, but it was little boxes and planters and some frames that were suspending air plants and things like that. Then I started doing some bigger things and people started ordering bigger things and they're like, hey, can I get something like this? Could you do that? I want something a certain dimension. So I always liked, promoting that. So it keeps me busy and it switches things up so I'm not always doing the same thing all the time.
Well, very cool. Well, I'm happy that you're on your 9th anniversary here.
Yes, thank you.
Here's to many, many more.
Absolutely.
And cute plant shop and great work.
Thank you. So, thank you for coming out and interviewing. Yeah, that's awesome. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. When did you guys open?
It'll be 4 years this coming November.
Ah, congratulations.
Thank you.
And then how did you find this location?
So this location used to be a former plant shop called Urban Roots. And when they decided to go out and sell, James Henry, the owner, came in, swooped it up, plant garage. The building itself used to be an automotive shop built in the 30s. So the cars would drive through and go out. There were gas pumps on the lot, so plant garage was appropriate.
Amazing. So it is absolutely appropriate, although it doesn't feel like a garage anymore.
We have a garage door.
It's got a nice vibe, I have to say. It's kind of a chill, laid back type of vibe. How did you get into plants?
16 years ago, I worked a seasonal position at a greenhouse in Arvada, Colorado, and fell in love. Unfortunately, it was only a seasonal position, so sought out another position at another greenhouse, which took off.
And what are some of the plants here that you enjoy, and what are people that, I know somebody just came in to search for a plant, but what are some things that people really search for here?
A lot of low light. Everyone needs a spot in their home that's low and light filled.
You have a bunch of lower light plants behind you.
We do.
A wall of lower light plants.
ZZs, Sansevierias, certain varieties of pothos.
Yeah.
Trailing is big, and anything kind of funky. The ginseng ficus is kind of a hit. Everyone has its own personality.
Yeah. And is this your puppy?
This is my shop dog, Lily.
Oh, she is just out.
It's a hard job.
Well, you know, it's a hot day and the concrete is like nice and cool, I bet.
It is.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Meg. Thank you so much for taking us through your little shop and for telling us your story, how you got involved in plants.
Well, thanks for coming in, and everyone, when you come on into Denver, come visit us.
We just arrived at this plant shop. It's kind of in a nice little homey part of town. This is called Overgrown Home, and I did some searching online, and it looks like they really specialize in more rare kind of like on-trend varieties. Don't want to get hit by a bicyclist. All right, crossing the road. This time without my head behind a camera.
Order here, big patterns gal.
How did Overgrown Home start?
Yeah, so we actually started out of our house at the time, just around the corner.
Nice. This is a great little area.
It is. We love this neighborhood. It's truly fabulous. It's a special neighborhood. And so I was actually a practicing attorney before the pandemic.
Boring.
Right? I know, truly. Only for like a little while, and just long enough to know that it did not vibe with me personally. My mental health and practicing corporate law were not a good fit whatsoever. So yeah, it was a brief stint in that, and then my partner and I had really been into plants for a few years at that point. We were getting into the collector ones, you know how it is,
yeah.
And so
slippery slope.
It's a really slippery slope, and so we had started collecting kind of more seriously over the years, and supporting local is really important to us too. So when we found our first rare plant at the time, it was like a philodendron bilietiae. We bought this one leaf coating from like a local gal, and it was just the most fun feeling, like making those local exchanges, and we really felt that it was important to make local plants accessible at that fun level. And so we started doing imports more for our own benefit at first, and then we were kind of like, you know what, like there isn't really good access to this stuff in our market at the time, and so we erected a greenhouse in our rental house around the corner, and we had ladders with grow lights. Our dining room was taken over, and it kind of escalated pretty quickly. We were like running deliveries, and before that, I guess I was practicing law, right? And then I left doing that. I decided that I just didn't want to put myself through that anymore. My partner at the time was in a similar life position, and so we just decided to jump full bore into it. We moved out of our 2-bedroom, nice little rental into a studio apartment, like 2 blocks in the other direction. Luckily, we found this space, and we started making the magic happen.
What was this space before? Do you know?
Yeah, it was a bike shop actually.
Oh, that's so crazy.
Yeah, and it was a bike shop
like a bike, like
repair
the
shop.
Bike. Okay, not like a motorcycle shop.
Yeah, no,
okay.
like bicycle. Sorry.
Bicycle,
yeah, and so they operated in the neighborhood for like 25 years or something, and then they decided they didn't want to do it anymore. Actually, COVID brought them a lot of business. People were really into biking, and so yeah, things kind of naturally escalated, and so we were fortunate enough to step into this space. And if you want to step into the back, I can kind of show you where some of the magic happens.
Ooh,
Once again, not super clean, but it's the reality.
This is impromptu. This is reality TV.
Yeah. So this is what we really were able to do with this space to make it work. So we started out with this really interesting model. We call it jewelry store style, where we bring our collector plants out from the back, kind of on a tray. Originally, we literally had like a picture frame menu, and we'd bring them out on a tray for folks to look at. And now we have a menu online.
Like a
it's
silver
evolved
tray?
a little bit.
It's a vintage,
vintage tray. It had like a little fake gold rim. Yeah, right. Really, it felt like a fun experience. So that's how we started out. Things have evolved a little bit since then, but honestly, that's still really what we're doing here. And now we're working to really kind of evolve how we're serving the collector community through different product offerings too. So one of the things we're most excited about is clear pots. Actually, that's something that's really important to us. We have most of our collector specimens in clear pots. We love the transparency. This isn't a great example. This is not one of our clear pots, but we actually just started selling our own clear pots. Here's a big stack of them. So this is something we're going to be offering on our website soon to make more accessible, because we've had a hard time finding them in a construction that we really like ourselves. So that's something we've been working on, and just doing other things to serve the community in addition to just the plants. These prints are something else. We just worked with a local risograph print studio to design these. So these were designed and printed by two sisters right here in town.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and they're a risograph print, so it's like a Japanese style of print. It's basically a digital screen print. So super fun technology. It's the only printer in Denver of this type. And so we worked with them to, sorry, I'm shaking. I had cold brew this morning. But we worked with them to design this, and these are going to be on our website soon too.
Well, I love that, you know, sometimes you come to different plant shops and you kind of see the same old, and this one you're like really focusing on collectors and you're working with local folks.
Yeah,
so it gives it a real like local vibe.
That's really what we're going for. Yeah, we're big locals at heart. So yeah, come to the back,
see area.
The full team. Yeah, this is Nathan, and then this is Willow.
Hi, Willow.
Employee of the year.
Oh,
yeah.
Employee of the year every year.
Sweet girl. Yeah. She's even dressed for work today, so. But yeah, so we're really lucky. We have our little family operation here. It's really just the two of us. So no employees yet, and we're just back here getting our hands dirty for now.
Really cool.
Yeah. So yeah, we just kind of put these shelves up together. We cut the plywood, put up the plastic. We're gonna paint them now. Nate's gonna do that next. We just renewed our lease, so
and these
exciting
shelves
times.
are actually the shipping infrastructure for citrus trees that come into our wholesaler.
Yeah, so we asked nicely, and we're kindly given these from a local wholesaler. So we were both born and raised in the Midwest in different states, but we feel like that Midwestern niceness has always been really strong in us, and I think has served us well in our business too. And we love the community vibe that Denver has. It's truly like it's Midwest meets West Coast. It feels like, and that's really reflected in the plant scene as well. I hope you're seeing too when you're coming around.
Well,
town.
I have to say also the Midwest folks. I always hire people from like Minneapolis and everything. It's like a lot of hard workers. Like
right, the work ethic is there. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yes.
Well, this is great. It's so good. So what is it going to be your like 2-year anniversary?
Yeah, 2 years in October. So yeah.
Congratulations, happy anniversary.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. I guess it's weird because we technically sold our first plant out of our house like on July 9th or something. So we're a little bit past 2 years, but when we opened this space, that's what really felt official. So yeah, 2 years in October, and yeah, it still feels surreal. I'm so happy. I was working really long hours before we came into this, so I don't mind working super long hours to this day, and I don't think that'll change for a while yet, but I truly couldn't be happier, and it's so special to do it together too. So
well, I think that's just really lovely. And I when I was Google mapping all the different plant shops, I was like, Overgrown home. We could all relate to that,
right?
And you literally were like in a small studio apartment with an overgrown home.
Yeah. Now we recently moved to another studio apartment. So we still live in a studio. We have like a 5 by 7 foot greenhouse in it. It's like bed, greenhouse. I sleep next to all of our plants. It's truly a lifestyle at this point, and I wouldn't have it any other way. But
she still gets to utilize her lawyer skills. She just recently successfully trademarked Overgrown Home in the shopping and retail.
Congratulations!
Thank you. Yeah. So here and there, Nate's a programmer by trade too, so he's working on our website, other odds and ends like that. So yeah, we're excited for what the future holds, and excited to be here for the meantime.